like I said, with the OSI model. Why am I getting this on my screen? With the OSI model, you can easily trace a problem on your computer, in your organization's network. You can easily trace where the problem is coming from. And like I said, for tech vendors selling new products, it's easy for them to explain to their customers what they are buying. They can easily explain the product for those that work in tech sales. So sorry, next slide. What was going on? So before we move to the next slide, I would love to explain encapsulation and decapsulation, but I would do that while showing you this image. Can you see this image, please? I think you can see it. I just want to be sure.
Yes, you can see the image.
So
yes, we can.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. I'll be looking at the chat, so please. Things that should be in that chat should be important because I don't want to miss anything. So give me a minute. I'm trying to also have the slide on my phone. So
sorry, Oti. I think you should just go ahead. If there is any question for you on the chat box, the admin will call your attention to it so that you don't get distracted. Just go ahead.
Yeah, I'm trying to make sure the slide is also running on my phone, so I can be navigating the slides and not distracting people here on my screen. Okay. Crazy. Sorry, please give me a minute.
I'm sorry, the pastor so come on board now. She's currently having network issues. Can you guys hear me? Good evening.
Good evening, can hear you.
Yeah, so she'll come on board now. She's having a bit of network issues. So just please bear with us. I'm so sorry. But so far so good. All she has talked about, hope you guys understand. Hello, Temitope, are you trying to say something? I can see your mic unmuted. So just like she said, the OSI model is really important that we get to know the OSI model. Really important for us to not just the OSI model alone, including networking. It's really important for us to know networking, it would be a good foundation that we can build anything on. Sorry, can you still hear me? Some saying that my audio is very low. I don't know if any other person can hear me.
We can hear you, Chrissy. We can hear you.
Okay.
Can hear you.
Yeah, so yeah, no problem. So while I was still waiting for this, I wanted to talk about the importance of knowing OSI model. Yeah, so she already explained to us what the OSI model is, the function of the OSI model as well. So I would say the Osi, are you back?
I didn't know I was
Yeah.
muted. I'm back.
Okay, welcome. Can you share your
Sorry.
screen, please?
Yeah, I can now. Okay. Yeah, I needed this slide. Sorry. So I said I wanted to. So just pardon me. I would not want to be presenting my slide anymore because I'll just be moving around. So I don't want to start getting distracted. So I said I wanted to explain encapsulation and decapsulation. So like I said, we have 5 layers. We have 7 layers of the OSI model, application to presentation. But the first layer is the physical layer. So at every layer, data is being passed to the next layer. And from application down to the physical layer, the addition of information, that's addition of data from application to presentation to section to transport, that process is called encapsulation. So at every layer, an information has been added. Like we said, OSI model is how data information are being passed between 2 networks, 2 computers. So encapsulation is telling you that the process of encapsulation is how data is being passed from application down to the physical layer. Why de-encapsulation is how data goes from the physical layer back to the application layer. So when they say OSI model is communication between 2 systems, not one system is not just receiving information from the other, they are both transmitting information. So that process is called encapsulation and decapsulation. So we have, okay, so that's that. I had to just clarify this and let you know how data are being passed, the process. So we have the application layer, we have the presentation layer, section, transport, network, data link, and transport network, data link, and the physical layer. So let's go to the application layer. So the application layer in the OSI model is closest to the end user. It receives information directly from end users and display income data to your user. So take, for example, you're sending an email. The process of sending and receiving an email is the responsibility of the application layer. Do you understand? Please, do you understand? Yes. Please interrupt me. Do you understand?
Yeah, go on, we do.
Okay. So this layer provides several ways for manipulating data like information, which enables any type of user to have access with ease to the network. Like There is a protocol that helps you receive your email. There is a protocol that helps you access the internet. There is a protocol that allows you share data between the network. And all those protocols are under the application layer. So basically, the application layer helps you receive information directly from the end users and also display incoming data. So these are the protocols of the application layer. We have the telnet, HTTP. If most of you don't understand telnet, you understand HTTP, which is the foundation of the World Wide Web hypertext transfer protocol. And I think for most of you that are not familiar with the protocols under the application layer, you are one of the, the first time I took a class on OSI model, the only thing I understood was HTTP. I'm not going to be explaining the entire protocol on the application layer because it's going to take all our day. But I am going to send you this slide after this class, and you can drop all the questions you want on the chat after this class in the group, and you can ask your questions. Is that fine?
Perfect. Perfect.
Good. So these are the protocols of the application layer. Remember, the application layer helps you receive information directly. Like take, for instance, you want to access Facebook. Being able to access Facebook is the help of the application layer. So you have to input the URL into the web, and you're able to access Facebook. You're able to access any information you want. It displays Facebook to you. Facebook, after inputting Facebook, www.facebook.com, you receive the data. That's the interface of Facebook, right? I'm trying to make it as easy as possible. So you receive a feedback, which is your Facebook display screen. You're getting Facebook. So that is the help of the application layer. It receives information directly from users, send this to the net, and gives you a feedback. So these are the protocols. We have the HTTP, the FTP. Sorry, give me a minute. The HTTP, the FTP, SMTP, DNS, and DHCP. So as regards to cybersecurity, you need to know that, you need to understand that while all these are protocols under application layer, they are mostly not secured ports. I will not go deep into that, but I am sure when you're taking ports and protocol, your facilitator will speak more on insecure ports and secure ports. But I'm just going to say this: when you're going, I know during your time of learning cybersecurity, you must have understand that visiting a website that starts with HTTP is unsafe. Yes. Can somebody give me the safe way to visit the safe protocol?
HTTPS.
HTTPS. Thank you so much. So these are not secured ports. These are not secure ports. So during your, but I'm going to send you links, videos to watch that will properly explain more than the OSI model to you. It will benefit all those that watch it because it really helped me while I was trying to understand networking. So that way you'll be able to see that HTTP is not safe, but HTTPS is safe. FTP is not safe, but I think the safe one is SFTP, Secured File Transfer Protocol. Yes. Read more on that. And I'm sure port and protocol is a class that is also on the curriculum, so to be the facilitator will properly explain it. So let's go on to the sixth layer, which is the presentation layer. The presentation layer is responsible for delivering and formatting of information to the application layer for further processing. Like I said, OSI model is how information is being passed from one layer to another, till you get to this end user. So presentation layer is responsible for passing data from network to application and receiving data from application to from section to application, then receiving layer from the application to the section layer. So basically what this layer does, it translates data between network service and application. It helps you encode, it shows you like the best way to present an information and the best way to encrypt information. Do you understand? Can I move on? Okay. So presentation layer is basically presenting information and also telling you the best way to encrypt information. So here I said presentation layers handle all issues related to data presentation and transport, including translation, encryption, and compression. So that is just tell you the best way and information should be in. The presentation layer acts as a translator between the application and the network. Yes, it sends data from network to the application layer. The presentation layer translates data into an acceptable format. Okay, let's take for a good example, your picture. We have pictures in JPEG, we have pictures in PNG, we have books in EPUB, we have books in PDF. You know this format of books, right? So that it is the responsibility of the presentation layer to show you the best way to present an information. Please feel free to interrupt me if you do not understand, and you can also write down your question. So protocols of presentation layer, we have the AFP, ICA. There are a lot of protocols under presentation layer. When you read on presentation layer more, you're going to see, but I'm going to, I put a link down here. I'm going to drop this link after the class. When you visit this link, it's going to give you a detailed explanation of all the protocols. All these protocols explain how data are being presented and how they are encrypted. So there are different ways of presenting information. There are different ways of encrypting. Someone wants to say something, I think so. So moving on. Okay, somebody is saying something. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Can hear you.
Okay. So section layer, this layer allows users on different machines to establish active communications. So I was saying I would not explain this section. I just want to know, are you familiar with Linux, the Linux machine?
A little bit familiar with it.
Yes. So are you familiar with remote? Are you familiar with remote protocol calls? If you're not, you will be after this training. You not this particular class, but you will be taught how to open section into network. Like I said, I'm still going to reiterate the meaning of OSI model at every layers, because it makes you understand the reason why OSI model was created. It helps you understand how information can be passed, how two computers can communicate with each other. Like okay, let me give you a bit of a backstory. So I'm a cloud security engineering student, right? And there was a project I was doing where I needed to remotely access a system from my AWS cloud, my EC2, and I couldn't do it. I kept getting errors. So what I was trying to do is to another network from my own network. I wanted to gain access into another system. So the responsibility of the section layer. So the section layer is explaining when two computer or network device need to speak to each other. I was trying to remotely access a network with using SSH. SSH is a secure way of remotely accessing another network, and telnet is not a secure way. So telnet was the normal way, the old way of remotely accessing networks. But the problem with telnet was it is not encrypted. So if I'm trying to send a message to, let's say I'm trying to send a message to Leonard for my computer, anybody that is on that network would see, like they will see the message I'm trying to communicate to Leo. So for telnet, when I'm trying to remotely connect to a system, whatever message I'm sending to that system, it is written in plain text. So that is why SSH is a more secure way, because when I'm using SSH, SSH is encrypting whatever message I'm sending. Like I'm speaking to somebody, I'm Igbo. The person I'm speaking to is Igbo. I speak to the person in Igbo. Why everybody around us is Yoruba? That is basically encrypting what we are saying. So every other person cannot understand what we're saying. So I always tell people that the reason cybersecurity students need to understand networking is because you cannot protect what you do not understand. Like if you do not understand this section layer, you don't understand how to securely connect to another system, is a problem. That way, a threat actor can easily gain access to whatever information you are trying to send to someone else, which is not good for your organization. So this section provides a mechanism for opening and managing a section between end user application process. Section layers are commonly used in application environment that make use of remote protocol called SSH. So I'm going to go to the protocol of, yeah, we have ADSP. I think it's Apple. ADSP belongs to Apple, right? I can't really explain because I don't have my notes. Most of this time I have to have my notes for these things, but I'm going to send you a link to read about the protocols of section layer. They are properly explained, but understand what section layer is and what section layer does. And everything section layer does is what the different, these protocols are just different ways of
All right, network has taken our facilitator out again. Please bear with
I
us.
can hear.
Yeah, she's been kicked out. The network. Please bear with us. She'll join back now. Yeah, 1 minute, please.
So sorry, guys. I think the host is having serious network issue. I'm so sorry. I'm really, really, really sorry. I hope she's able to join back because I was really enjoying this class. Hope she's really able to join back. So, Kayode, can you just hold for the meantime? I try to help her get back in.
Hi, I'm back. I'm sorry. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
I'm so sorry. Every other thing was working but Zoom. So I don't know what's happening. Okay. Sorry, hope I was not talking to myself at a point.
No.
Possibly.
Like, where did I stop? Jeez. What's
You
happening?
you stop at the session layer when you are trying to give you listed the protocols. Yeah, this slide. That's where you stop.
Okay. So I was trying to explain that.
Am I able to interject a little bit and ask a question?
Sure.
Okay, so while you're going, this is a very interesting topic. However, for folks who have seen the OSI layer in the past, at least for me, I have a very major issue with compartmentalizing all the protocols in each layer and trying to remember what goes where. So obviously every layer has like a chunk of protocol that we either have to memorize, remember, or whatever we have to do to kind of like, make sure we know it. How would you suggest we segment these protocols on different layers so that mentally we're able to quickly know them so that at least they are the tip of our fingers when we're in the real world, so to say.
Okay. So aside from reading and constantly studying the protocols, if you're in an interview where you most likely need to memorize it, because if you're working as a professional, as an intern, most of the time, trust me, you're using your internet, you're on Google 70% of the time. So you need to understand the section layer and you need to like put one or two. You need to understand the section area. I need to just put one or two in your head. So I remember at an interview and a friend said she was asked to just list one protocols in each of the layers. So she was able to tell them, oh, this has this, TCP, transport has TCP, UDP, data links has ARP, or I don't even see, even me myself, I don't know them. But when I'm going for an exam or I'm going for an interview, I am reading, I am cramming. That's it. But when I had to speak to my mentor, and another thing I would advise as a cybersecurity student, please get a mentor that is already in the game and working. They will help you a lot. I went to her, I'm like, I don't know this thing. She told me, see, Gracie, I've been working as a cybersecurity expert for more than 8 years. Most of the time, I'm on the internet. The only time you need to cram all these things is during an interview or your exams. The only time you really need to cram them. But if you're working, most of the time you know it, but you want to be sure, right? You quickly go on YouTube to watch something, or you go on Google to read about it. So I'm not going to tell you have to cram everything. But if you do not know 5, know 1. If you do not know 5 protocols in each layers, just know 1. And one thing that is very important for you to know in the OSI models is this aspect. I don't know if I can do this. Okay. This aspect, you see this middle aspect, this side, that's even the most important thing, because they are just one information. So I explain what encapsulation and de-encapsulation. That's data that are being transported, the process of transporting data, and on each layer of the OSI model, something is being transferred, and information, a data is being transferred. So just understand that application presentation section, data that are being transferred are called data. But when it gets to transport, section transfers data to transport. When transport is transferring something to network, section transfers data to transport. The transport receives it as segments. But when transport is taking it to network, network receives them as packets. When network is sending it to data link receives them as packets. When data link is sending it to physical receive it as bits. This is one thing you need to know and you need to cram, because it really helps you when you are on a more learning network outside OSI model, like broadly. Like Kayode, when I was in just joined, I heard Kayode telling you about Google IT for beginners. Please go and take that course. I think it's a 6-week course. I also took the course. It really helped me to understand, especially if you do not have IT background. Take that course to really understand data. It breaks it down. Watch a lot of YouTube channels. But for me, when I started, I was always Googling OSI models for dummy, networking for dummy, porting for dummy, routing for dummies. I always Google it, because that way they are explaining to you like a 5-year-old. So I'm sorry I didn't get the name of who just asked this question, but I hope I was able to answer your question.
That's fair. I'm sorry to take you off tangent, though, but I just thought I should ask
Fine.
that question. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Fine. So thank you, section, right? Okay. You guys are going to laugh at me, but I'll be doing a lot of screen switching, but just bear with me. So section, section. So transport. So transport layer is the second layer in the TCP/IP model, which I wish we were talking about, but we would not. I will speak to Leo if you can give us another time, another day to talk about TCP/IP model and three-way handshake. But just know that TCP/IP model is also a network model that you need to know. And it is the fourth layer in the OSI model. It is an end-to-end layer used to deliver message to a host. So transport layer deals with coordination of data transfer between end system and host, how much data to be sent at. Okay, you know what? This one is even plenty. Now we are on YouTube. We are on Zoom, right? That is the job of the transport layer. Transport layer, it is what is making it possible for us to be able to communicate from your network to Zoom. Do you understand? Let me know if you understand, if I should go deep into transport layer.
Yes, we understand.
Please, someone that does not understand should talk. I really like when somebody does not understand and they want to ask questions, because I know that there are a lot of gurus here that already know the OSI model. And when they say they understand, people that don't understand just keep mute. It happened to me a lot during classes.
I don't understand though.
Thank you. God bless you.
So it's been more of this transport layer.
It's been more of what?
The transport layer, go deep, please.
Okay, so transport layer is responsible for delivering, error checking, flow control, and sequencing data packets. It regulates the sequence size and transfer of data between system and host. Just listen to me. Just listen to me. It gets data from section layer and breaks it into transportable segments. Protocols from transport layer or transmission protocol for transport layer on the transport layer is either TCP or IP. So the best way to explain transport layer to someone that does understand it is using the TCP and the UDP protocol. So the TCP is a connection-oriented transmission. Is done by wired connection. Oh God, wait, I'm coming. I understand the transport layer, but I want to see how to explain it. Mm. Yeah, I'm not muted. My friend was asking me if I was muted when I'm saying I don't like. I do understand it, but I want to see how. I want someone to understand it. You said what? The 3-way and oh, good. Yes. So let me share my entire screen on Google. So I'll share my entire screen so we can use Google. Yes. Yes. So let's go. Why can't I see? Can I move this thing? Okay, I can. Okay. Why is this image like this? At the end of the day, we are still going to use the 3-way and shape, aren't we? Let me see the best illustration. I think we should use this one. And I'm also going to get out my personal notes for this. Yes, I'm going to use my personal notes for this. So give me a minute. So transport layer using the two most popular protocols. There are a lot of protocols on that transport layer, but the popular ones are the UDP and the TCP. So for the TCP, it's a connection-based protocol, meaning when the information is being transported from two systems, if there is an error, if there is a disconnect, the UDP resends it again just to ensure it gets it right. Or, oh, sorry, I said UDP. I'm talking about the TCP. Please, if you're not getting me, if I'm confusing you, just let me know. I'm talking about the TCP. So the TCP, the Transport Connection Protocol, when we are connecting two systems, like let's say you're trying to send a picture on maybe using Bluetooth, and I send from my phone to your phone, and there is an error. What TCP does is it ensures it resends the information to that phone to ensure that it gets it right. Do you understand?
Please come again.
Okay. Okay, so let me open this. Why is it not opening the image itself? So this is the image. So let's talk about how a connection is being what English am I looking for? Initiated. Thank you. A connection is being initiated from one system to another. So
I can't hear anything again.
okay. Sorry. Can you hear me now? I was
Yeah.
muted before. Sorry, I was muted before. I'm sorry I didn't say anything. So So for connection to be initiated, when a computer wants to initiate a connection, so for TCP, from one system to another, maybe an end user sends an information to another system. So here on this image, can you see this image, please? The client
Yes.
and the server. So this send, one system sends information to another system. Do you get? Like, let's say Gracie sends an information to a friend. The friend then acknowledges the information and sends. So for the friend to acknowledge the information, she sends back a message telling me, yes, I received what you sent to me. Then I send a connection back to acknowledge that, yes, I saw your acknowledgement. So it is a connection like a three-way handshake, an end-to-end connection that is not interrupted in any way, and there is a feedback. For TCP, when a system sends information to another system, it gets a feedback, an acknowledgement that I received your information. Your information was received. But for UDP, using UDP to send an information, when a user sends an information using UDP, whether the information was received, whether it was destroyed on the way, whether it was anything happened to the information, UDP's own is just to send. It does not even acknowledge that, oh, there was an error sending this message, this information was not received. There is no feedback whatsoever from the other system when you're using UDP to send information. Do you understand these two protocols?
Yes.
Yes,
Like,
yes.
do you get it now? So
Yes.
what I was trying to give you is a good example of TCP, which is, I'm sorry, I need to use my phone to check. So I wanted to check, so I'm not saying nonsense with this example. Okay, so an example of TCP is a person trying to access the website. So what happened now, when I went off, I just, my internet just told me no DNS. It just told me no DNS. It was showing me an error message that I am not connected anymore. Like, if you do not have data on your phone and you are trying to browse on the internet, you get an error message. There are different types of error message. An error message telling you you cannot access this site, you are not allowed to access this site. An error message telling you you do not have internet connection. An error message telling you this site no longer exists. That is TCP protocol. It gives you a feedback, so you are not left hanging. You are not left hanging that, oh, I don't know what's going on. Like, I'm calling on WhatsApp and I'm trying to like speak to somebody, and WhatsApp is telling me connection error. Do you understand?
Yes.
So that's a good example of transport layer. So it helps to, it's an end-to-end layer used to deliver message to a host. Okay, Abudu Wahab Adamosi, you raised your hand.
Yeah, I want to know what are the protocols that exist in the transport layer?
I just mentioned two of the protocols.
You said
and I was still going to there. I just want to ensure people understand transport layer before I move on. So I'm going to get to that if you do not mind.
Okay. Your explanation on it using the three-way handshake.
Mm-hmm.
To explain what
That's
actually
TCP. That's the TCP protocol.
Yes,
the three-way handshake is, yeah.
Yes, I'm I think by own understanding, three-way handshakes is just to establish a connection, right? Just to
Yes.
establish the connection, which
Yeah.
exists both in UDP and TCP. And what actually happened in the TCP has to do with transfer of data from one end to the other. Like when you're
Sorry,
dealing
what
with-
happened in where?
I said with TCP. You know, TCP is a connection-oriented protocol, right?
Yeah, and UDP is connectionless. Yeah.
Why UDP is connectionless. And how do we describe the connection-oriented? It's because it keeps track of the connection. It keeps track of the connection. When it sends a packet, it ensures that the packet is delivered, because there's always a feedback.
Sorry, Abdul Wahab, I would like to
Yes.
cut you short there.
Okay.
Sorry. So I understand you using technical terms like packet, connection, but like I said I want to explain to someone that says she doesn't understand it. So I needed to use terms that were not technical. That's why I had to start using the web. I had to start using video, Zoom, my internet, WhatsApp connection. Do you get me?
Yeah, I understand. Okay, sorry for going.
So I'm trying to explain
details.
No, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I understand that I understand it. But what I would like you to do next time is after the class, when there are questions being asked on the group, you can also help out with the questions. Please. We really appreciate if you can help out with that. If you can help out with more questions on the group, because you sound very well grounded in networking. So it will be deeply appreciated. So why I understand that there are a lot of people that are well grounded in networking in this class, I know that this is a beginner's class. It is not a class where I would start using terms they don't understand.
It's okay, no problem.
So I'm going to send this presentation, this slide to everybody. See, you cannot understand networking if you do not do personal research. There is no amount of one-on-one learning that will help you with it. I promise you, I'm speaking from experience. That was how I had to look for, like I said, I kept Googling how to understand this like a dummy. I didn't know any other way. If I had gone to maybe Google and just type OSI model, I'll start seeing strong terms. I'll start, okay, what are packets? Oh, what are frames? What are segments? I'll start Googling those things. But I can't have my teacher do that, my facilitator do that for me, because there are over 50 people in this class. So thank you so much. I was also moving on to the protocols in the transport layer. We have more than the TCP and UDP in the transport layer, but I think I've mostly came across questions, my exam questions. I recently wrote the certified in cybersecurity exam 2 weeks ago, which I passed, and most of the questions that came out, I didn't come across any other protocols in transport, but I came across TCP and UDP. So take note of the popular protocols and terms people are always speaking about in the industry. We should also focus on that. Why it's good to understand a lot more. Also focus on understanding the popular ones, why they are popular and why they are being used more. So these are the protocols on that transport layer. And I will also be sending you links on understanding SCTP, DCCP, TCP, FCP. Is that fine?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you so much. I hope the person that said she didn't understand gets it now.
Yes, I get it now.
Okay, thank you. So I needed to, okay. Yeah.
Can you come again? I didn't get what you said. When you say you were going to send out something.
Yes, I said I will send links to all the protocols in like I'm not just going to send links to OSI model. I'm going to send links to application, transport, different links that gives you well-detailed explanation what this thing does, the functionalities, how you can use them, how, see, for cybersecurity students, the reason why you are learning networking is different from why a network administrator is learning networking. A network administrator might be learning networking on how to understand how to network works. IT person has to understand how to repair people's system and the rest in an office. But for cybersecurity, the reason why you need to understand how network work, the OSI model, is to understand how they are being attacked and how you can protect them. It's okay to understand it. Maybe you find yourself in IT, network administration, but as cybersecurity, the reason we are learning all we are learning in network is to understand how they are at risk and how you can protect these things. So I explain encapsulation and de-encapsulation. It is important for you to know different data that are being transferred at different layers of the OSI model. Like I said, from application, the data that is being transferred from application to presentation is called data, and vice versa. Data from presentation to section is called data, and vice versa. So what we really are paying attention to is data that's been received by transport, which is segment. In an interview recently, they just asked, oh, what is the protocol on, mention one protocol in transport layer, mention data received by network, mention, so it's just, these are the kind of questions you get. Most interview for entry levels are always mostly network questions, IP addresses, MAC addresses, and the rest. So it is very, very, very important for you to understand networking. So you can, like, the way I understand networking, I start explaining it to my friends, even the ones that are not cybersecurity people, because I want to understand it. So can we move on, please?
Yes, we can move on.
Yes, thank you. Yes. So now network layer. I hope this does not stress me as much as transport. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm not muted. So network layer is when you will find most of the router functionalities that most networking professionals care about and love. Its function is to transport. Sorry, give me a minute. I'm sorry.
Hello, good evening. Is anyone hearing me?
Can hear you.
Yeah.
I can hear you too.
Let's just give Grace a few minutes for us to come back. Okay. On, I can carry on. I think he's struggling with the network.
I'm sorry. Let me share my screen again. Okay. Can you hear me now? Sorry, I needed to, I know I needed to explain for those people that might not understand what packets are. So I just wanted to explain packets for you to be able to understand how the network layer works. So the network layer, it involves both, it's responsible for packet forwarding, but to understand packet has small segments of a larger message transmitted across a network. For example, your email. When you're sending an email from yourself to another email address, it does not go as an email. It is broken down into tiny bits, and those bits are called packets. So it is being received as a whole after, like it help breaks down a large, like when you're sending a large picture or you're sending bulk information from one system to another. It has to be broken down for it to be able to go through, for easier routing or easier connection or easier forwarding. So for here, I said functions of network layer: connection model, host addressing, message forwarding, network layer protocols. This is not supposed to be here. Message forwarding. So do you get me?
Yes.
Do you understand network layer? So the network layer is responsible for forwarding packets, for packet forwarding. So to understand the network layer, you need to understand what packets are and what it's forwarding. So going back to this image, the network receives segments from transport as packets. But when the information or the data is being sent to data link receives those bits, those let me not say bits. I won't say bits. I don't want to use bits because bit is not the right term to use. Receive those segmented, sorry, let me use the right word so you don't get confused. Okay, let's say smaller segments of a larger message. It's being broken down before it goes to data links or before it goes back to transport. So I use images. I use your email. When you're sending image, like an image to when the process of sending image goes from application to presentation to section to transport. So when it gets to network, it's been broken into small packets before it gets to data link. So the responsibility of network is packet forwarding. So forwarding those packets that has been broken down into small segments. So either forward it to data link or take it from data link back to the transport layer. So here it says the source and the destination addresses are added to the data packets inside the network layer. So everything happens in the network layer, breaking it down and sending it to another layer. Everything happens in the network layer. Do you get me?
Yes.
Please, if you do not understand.
Yes, forget me.
Okay. So when you read more, just ensure that when you're reading network, every single term you don't understand, routing, network, connection model, hosting addresses, message forwarding, read the meaning of those things. Those are what will make you understand what the topic itself, those attached terms that help make up that topic is what, knowing the meaning of those things is what makes you understand the topic itself. So I had to quickly check for this. So moving on. So the protocols. So these are the protocols in network layer. Like I said, I'm still going to say it. You need to read it up yourself. I'm going to send you links that will help you understand the different protocols. But I was hoping to just explain one. That's the IPv4 and IPv6. But I don't know why I can't get where I wrote down my notes for this. No. But if I don't see it, I'll move on and I'll post it in the group later. Okay, I'll post it in the group later. I'm sorry, I can't get my notes now. But please, this network protocols, it is very important you understand the different protocols and how they function. The data link. So the data link, sorry. So sorry about that. I've been apologizing since I started this class. I'm sorry. Take me like that. So the data link layer provide nodes to nodes data transfer. And by nodes can be both physical and logical. So I had to explain nodes for those that might not understand what it means. So physical nodes is an electronic device that is attached to a network. Let me show you a good example of nodes. Sorry, can you still see my screen?
Yes.
Just of nodes. Okay. That's what I was looking for. So these are both physical. This is a physical node. So this here is a physical node. While logical nodes are network node in a communication network is a connection point used to transmit, receive, create, or store the information with the help of distributed network routes. So why physical nodes? I think I understood node better using physical nodes because they are basically something I can see. So they are connected, I don't want to say cables. They are attached to a network. They are electronic devices that are attached to a network and is capable of creating, receiving, or transmitting information over a communication network. So with that out of the way, data link provide node-to-node data transfer. And data link corrects any error that may occur or may have occurred at the physical layer. So the physical layer is the first layer. So whatever data that's been sent from the physical layer to the data link check to ensure that they are correct information before it passes it to the network. It corrects any error that may have occurred at the physical layer. It ensures that any data transfer is error-free between nodes. And it is also reliable. It is responsible for reliable transmission of data between data frames, sorry. Sorry, do you understand data link, please? Okay. Abdul Wahab.
Okay, sorry for.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Go ahead. It's fine.
Okay. Okay.
We are learning.
I think your explanation on nodes.
Yeah.
Is not. I didn't get you quite all right because
Okay.
I think node has to do with we are talking about I think device to device connection.
Okay.
Node has to do with the connecting point. Now,
okay,
the connecting point between two devices.
Physical nodes.
Yeah, physical. Yeah.
Yeah.
When you are talking about virtual,
logical nodes.
Logical nodes. Now, possibly, I'll be talking about a virtual network or sort of.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. Now, you said there is at the data link, you will have a data correction. I mean, correction or sort of.
Error
What
that
actually
might have occurred.
Error. Yeah, you said error. That error that might have occurred from the application layer. Is it what? Is that what you said, right?
It ensures that data transfer is error-free between nodes over the application, the physical layer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I
okay.
think in terms of encapsulation at that layer, what it does is just to add a physical address to your
The MAC
packet. That is
address.
why to the
The MAC
packet, yeah, that's
address.
the MAC address to your packet, and it is
I'm trying
that
to get your
encapsulation.
question, Abdul Wahab.
Pardon?
Are you trying to ask me a question, please?
Yes, I'm a bit skeptical about this issue.
I have
of,
not explained the MAC address. I don't want people.
I know. Just hold on and listen to me. I'm just a bit skeptical about what is the function, what is the real function of the data link layer? Because when you said it's
so the data link
whatever
layer
is
responsible for reliable transmission of data frames
from node to node.
Between connected nodes. Yeah, that is.
Yes, there's no ambiguity about that. I understand. Okay. I understand that. But my skepticism now, it's on its error correction from the application layer, because I believe that at this layer, the frames has been broken down. I mean, the data has been broken down. It has been broken down. It's no longer what it is. It's no longer a data that you can say, okay, this is a complete data. So I'm just trying to draw attention to that.
Draw my attention to what exactly? I'm trying to get you. I still have not gotten.
What I'm saying is
error connection. Is that the problem?
Did you say error connection or error that must have occurred?
Error correction. Correction. Is that the
from
problem?
Where now? Is it from the application layer or from where now?
Data link is receiving bits, so the data that is being transferred from physical layer bits. If there is an error, it sends it back.
If there's an error,
it sends it back. It does not take an erroneous data from data to packets. It doesn't receive it. It sends it back.
Okay.
And explaining that is complex for this class.
It's okay. It's okay, no problem.
Okay. I have people raising up their hand. I'm really sorry. This class is not supposed to be this long. Please, you're raising up your hand. Please, you can speak now.
Hello.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Please, my own suggestion is that I think Mr. Wahab should be added to the intermediate class. Because your own explanation is layman, for beginners like us. I think that is getting him to getting distracted, I think.
Okay, is distracting him?
I guess so.
No, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
Sorry, I'm not distracted. It's just that let me just be sincere with you. I'm a network administrator.
Okay.
And when an explanation is being given that I felt possibly people are not getting, because I expected responses that the class should be, more lively. Like I think when the last class I attended, that was on Friday, last Friday, that we were trying to explain the same OSI layer, and we are trying to relate it with post office, how you post letter, and all the rest of that. You understand? I think Grace was able to at least, understand the point I'm trying to make. I just want a situation whereby it will be, it will be more lively than it is now. It's not as if
I understand, sir. But what I'm saying is that, people like us, we are new to tech. You grab. So
Yeah, I understand you.
the
I
moment
understand
she's trying to explain to us and you coming in, it gets us confused.
you. Okay.
So we just don't know.
Thank you.
We
Ahmed,
just
thank
don't
you
know
so
what we
much.
just don't know what to grab.
Ahmed, sorry, Ahmed, I want to cut you short. I'm really sorry that I'm really sorry. Wahab, thank you too. Like I said, please kindly help attend to questions about this. Kindly help attend to question about networking. Reach out to Leo. Let him know that you can actually be a facilitator to help explain more on this kind of things. We have people that are also experts in our admins and volunteers. And what they do is whenever we have issues with students not understanding when facilitators are explaining, they take out time to, explain to the student personally or on the group or send them materials that can help them. But also taking into consideration that most people here do not have computer science background. They don't have IT background. They have never studied anything tech. Some of them are studied German, some are French, some studied English language like myself. So what I have always set out to do and why I always volunteer is to ensure that I don't want people that are from my background to find things difficult like I did. So what I always do is simplify these things, make them as simple as possible. When you make it as simple as possible, when they start watching videos on the technical aspect, they get it easily. They keep remembering, oh, this was Grace talking about email being broken down. Then they are watching him telling them packets are being broken. They don't understand what packets are. They don't understand this is a beginner's class. Like when they say beginner's class for tech or security, they're telling you people that have zero experience in this thing. I can as well start jumping into the MAC address or the logical link control, but they don't understand what these things are. And we need to consider that why we want to teach. We don't want to teach people just for them to just have it. These are people that want a career in cybersecurity. And you want to ensure that people that have come out of this bootcamp, they understand when they go into other bootcamps that are like 6 months and the rest, they understand what they are doing. So please, Wahab, like I said before, just help us. I see a lot of questions on the group. I'm also on the course group. I see a lot of questions every day. Most of those questions are ignored sometimes. You could ask them, oh, you can reach out to me personally. You can reach out to Leo. I want to organize so class. It will help them. But for people that really do, see, like you said, you're a network administrator. We have people here that are already working in cybersecurity here. They are here. So please, let's just move on with the class. I'm going to try as much as possible to always vet whatever I'm saying on Google or in my notes to ensure that I am not saying nonsense. If you do not understand.
Okay, Grace, just give me a few minutes before you continue. Yeah, so like Grace is saying, it is very important we understand the fact that a whole lot of persons are purely beginners with non-technical background. So hence the reason for we using some terms that are not technical, because we want people to understand things for what they are, not them trying to Google what the facilitator is saying before they get a glimpse of what they are saying. So please, whenever we are in this class, let's drop everything we know before now. This is purely for beginners. If you have prior knowledge to what this class is, all you just have to do is relax and learn, or you actually just sit it out, because this is purely like, if there's anything like pre-security, this is a pre-security class. We are not yet talking anything about cybersecurity. If you notice, all we are doing is just to get people grounded in what they need to know in networking. So please, let's listen. These persons know what they are doing. That's why we brought them here. Thank you very much. You can continue, Oti.
Okay, I was hoping this class will not stay up to 10 o'clock, but I'm here to 10 o'clock because 10 o'clock I have a work meeting. Okay. I'm sorry, Stanley. I would really want to take your question. Okay, Stanley, you can say something. Stanley, your hand is up. I thought you wanted to ask a question or say something. Okay, let's move on. Okay, Stanley, yeah.
I think so. That was a mistake.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much. Sorry, can somebody just help me with where I stopped? I'm on slide 12. I can't even remember. Data link. Okay. I think I'm just going to take data link again and move on. Yeah, so do we understand what nodes are? Do we understand what nodes are?
Yeah, we do.
Okay, please, if you don't understand, just ask us after on the group, on the WhatsApp group. I'll be on the WhatsApp group doing my meeting just to answer some questions, and I'll send all the materials. Like I'll bombard with people with plenty materials that helped me. The material is not for you to digest in one day. It's for you to just always go back to it. When you don't understand something, you know that you have something to fall back to. So the Mac data link provides node-to-node data transfer. So it also handles error correction from physical layer. So whatever data link is receiving from physical layer, if it's not like, if there is an error, it sends it back. It doesn't move it to sorry, I'm trying to get my thoughts together. So it doesn't move it to the network layer. So it corrects any error that may have occurred at the physical layer. It ensures that any data transferred is error-free between nodes over the physical layer before it takes the data to the network layer. And data is packaged into frames. Data link is packaged into frames. So like I said, you need to understand the different type of layer that data that are being passed at different layer. So in our data links, when it receives bits from physical layer, it's packaged. The data received by data layer in bits is packaged into frames. And I would love to explain what frames are, so you do not get confused. Frames in networking. So here it says a frame is a digital data transmission unit in computer networking and telecommunication. So it's a digital data transmission unit. It does, like, what are bits? Bits are, I think they are numerics. Why do I keep forgetting this? I'm sorry. In networking, yes. So if one good thing about networking, if you start learning cybersecurity on Try Hack Me, I don't know if you people are familiar with Try Hack Me. The first course, the first topic they teach you is researching. As a cybersecurity person, as someone in cybersecurity, you need to know how to search. You need to know how to research. It comes in handy a lot. Like if I search for bits on its own now, it gives me something different. So I have to search for bits in networking. Or I could search for bits in the physical layer. So you need to understand how to also search, ensure you search for whatever you do not understand. Do not be afraid, do not be scared of saying, oh, I don't get this, I need to research, or I need to have conversation with another person that understands it. And I use Google for my search. I use I know a lot of people might find this funny. I use Pinterest when I'm looking for infographics, for when I'm looking for image explanation of some things I don't understand. Search.
Hi, Oti, are you still there? Hi, Oti. Okay, so I think our host facilitator has been kicked out again. Let me end the recording first because